Oh, okay, let's set up the little easel and put the cards up on there like that. They're going to stay? All right. Oh, I'm already recording. Hey, hello, everybody. It's Brian, and welcome back to BG Model Workshop. And we're doing a little bit of video on the USAC build, which is sitting over there. But we want to talk about Christmas cards first. So, first off, we want to give a big thank you out to William over at Ruckus Rods. He sent us a beautiful card and a sweet little sticker. It's got a 41 Willies on there. He knows we like the 41 Willies. Thank you very much, William. This was really cool. I appreciate that very, very much. And very, very nice card, too. It's nice to see a different color truck on these. Everybody's got the red trucks on there, but it's cool to see a green one, so thank you, sir. And this looks like it's a Chevy. So that's even better. Okay, cool. Thank you, William, for that. Appreciate that. And we will reciprocate in kind, my friend. Next up on the list, we have one from our buddy Craig over at Model. This is a beautiful card. Look at that. Huh? Really cool. And there's a note inside. And the note was attached to something that we have to do a stash ad about. But this is actually dimensional. Look at that. That's really cool. I like that wreath. But Craig, you're one of our best friends for both Mrs. BG and I, and we appreciate you beyond measure, my friend. And thank you so much for the wonderful card and the gift and the awesome note, too. And if you guys don't know, I don't know if I said this before or not, but when we get notes like this, for whatever reason, I save those also. They go into the binder of fame. Next up, we have Dylan from NYS Modeling, and this is, oh, there's the red pickup, but and it says Jolly on there, so it's a Jolly holiday with Dylan. But side story, when I first started YouTube all those eons ago, Dylan was already doing YouTube, and it's a fascinating to see his progression, not only from a kid up into adulthood, but also his modeling skills have flourished and he's enjoying the ride, and we're all enjoying watching him do that. So thank you for the card, Dylan. Keep at it, dude. Hope to see you at Acme sometime. I know it's a bit of a travel for you, but hopefully we can see you there sometime soon. But another one we have here is from Dutch Dave over at Dutch Dave's Model Bench. Was not expecting to get a card from Dutch Dave. The envelope was a little bit trash, so I didn't get to see the return address on there. I did notice it was from the UK, and I was like, wait, what? So opened it up, took a look inside, read the beautiful little note inside there, and thank you so much, Dave. This is a beautiful card, man. I love it. And this is actually from the British Museum. So that's awesome. I don't know if you're supporting the British Museum or if you swiped it from there. Either way, awesome. Good job. But yeah, thank you very much, Dave, for the wonderful card. This was totally unexpected, and I love it. So thank you. And on to the next we have here, Seamus over at Shamey BMW. He gave us a shop card, and I think it's so appropriate that he has a BMW on there now. So that's awesome. It's lit up, of course. And of course, if you want to know how to do the lighting on these types of builds, go check out his channel. There will be a link down below, but go check out his channel because he does have tutorials here and there about how to do it. But this guy is a prolific builder, and he doesn't just build them, he puts lights in them or sound cards or something like that. So, I mean, that's a challenge for me, something I want to take some of my builds next level type of thing, probably even like sci-fi stuff. You know, Star Trek kits, Star Wars kits, stuff like that. But the car thing, that is just awesome. So thank you very much for the card, sir. Appreciate that. And the very cute little note that came with that. That will also be saved in the binder of fame, too. And then next we don't have channels, these guys, but you all know them. And this is from Mr. Thomas Schrei. And Thomas is a good friend of the channel. He's gifted us some kits on behalf of my brother who served in the Gulf War, the first one. And we're slowly getting through those builds and trying to do stuff for him so he can have him in his man cave. But Thomas is a great person, a good friend of mine, and a good friend of probably all of you guys out there too. But this was a really awesome card to find in the mail, sir. Thank you very much for that and for the awesome words. And Mrs. BG was absolutely floored by your very kind note in there. So thank you, sir. And then last but definitely not least is a card from our friends Dean and Joan. You probably see them comment as Dean Joan, But somebody that I was actually hoping to get a chance to bump into because they're over on the East Coast, but we just didn't have the timing work out right. I was kind of hoping to bump into them while we were in North Carolina, but that didn't work out. But again, thank you so much for the awesome card there and the cute little note inside also, Dean. Very much appreciate that, and extremely grateful for all of your kind support over the years. Appreciate that beyond measure. I can't, like, there's no way I can actually just say anything more than just thank you, a heartfelt thank you. So there we go. Those are the cards. And we're going to pause for a second and be right back. Okay, my boyos, we are working on the USAC build, and we've got some progress. As a matter of fact, we have solved the engine mount issue. So that was a dramatic pause there because I forgot the word. Oh my. Okay, so let me show you what we had done here. Now, originally, this frame would have this piece right here molded down low. Right there, you can see right where we cut it off at. If it wasn't going blurry, there we go. I apologize about that. The camera's not liking this. So it would have been down there. Okay, cool. And then alongside here, we would have had some other like transmission mounts coming back off of here for the rear engine support. And those almost worked out, but they weren't perfect. So we were looking for perfect, and we decided to do that shout out to the community asking for any help, any ideas, any support on that type of thing. And a lot of guys, a lot of y'all chirped up and were like, dude, this is what you should do. Try doing this, take a whack at that, type of thing. But the consensus of the group was pretty much, you need some square tubing. Use some square tubing. I found some square tubing in my little bins of tubing and such, and we did a little bit of a cut, like a bird mouth notch in there. As they say in the roofing world, a little bit of a bird mouth there, in the carpentry, I should say. And then got those filed and sanded to the right angle for the engine. And then I was worried about those being staying at that particular angle, so I cut some triangle pieces of cardstock and then glued those in there as some support, some gusseting. Like how that looks. It looks a little more realistic, I guess is the best way to say that. Happened to find that there's a dead spot right in the actual engine bay of the cab. Just going to throw this on here real quickly, like this, something like, yeah, like that. And you can see how they fit in there. Perfect. Love it. Okay, cool. So why did we move this forward motor mount to here like this? Well, I needed to raise up the engine because the way the engine is done, it's got this crazy sump on there for the Cobra oil pan. And that was hitting the K-members, resting on the K-member. I didn't really like that. So I imagine, like, if I was working on this truck trying to change the oil and that, being like, what the heck did this guy do? So I decided to try and alleviate that by raising the engine up a little bit. And that's no problem because the engine bay in this thing is so friggin' tall. It was obviously designed to have a tall engine in it. So, either or a V8 or an inline six, either way. So it had plenty of space in there for that. Now, the modern suspension that's on here, I say modern, it's probably from the 1970s. The modern suspension in here left us just enough room to actually have these guys molded and glued in place. So we did that. Raised the engine up by slicing off the forward engine mount and then moving it to the top and then positioning it front to back. You see how it's not 100% lined up. This is where the engine wanted to be, so that it wasn't resting against the firewall, wasn't hitting the radiator. So that's front to back the best way we could have sorted that out. And then in back here, we sliced off the original mounts off the frame, glued in a couple of chunks of styrene lug to help support the rear end of the engine here. And then we're like, I don't like how that looks. It looks a little too cheap. So left those in place because they were doing a good job of holding the engine where we wanted it to be. Left those in place while we fabbed up the forward engine mounts and then glued those all in place and got that all sorted out. And then came back and then snipped off the lugs that we had on there and did a little bit of sanding to get that to go away. But they still have a little bit of a ghost there. So then that was like, okay, now we need something to support the rear of the engine. I had the idea of just grabbing some styrene tubing. And then we just did the old fingernail on there and thumbnail on there, and just pressing down and bending this over the top of your thumb to get the right angle. Didn't heat this up or anything like that, so it's a little bit springy still. And decided to go ahead and shave this to a point where it was going to have a nice amount of surface area to glue in place. So you can see how that's molded in there now, or glued in there now. So that worked out really, really well. Got that as level as we could, and then as perpendicular as we could. And then took a rat tail file, piece of the sliced off tubing that we had. We carved a semicircle into that so it would fit down on that tubing nice and pretty. Cement that in place. Give it as much surface area again as possible for the cementing process. And then this was a lot taller, so we when we had this all mocked up, the rear of the engine was pointing at the moon. So we just got out the nippers and started slicing off bit by bit by bit till we got to just the right height that we wanted to. And now we're at it now. But check this out. This is how nicely this all fits together. And we had to allow for the exhaust headers because boy, those are cool. But we don't want to mess with those. We don't want to change those at all. But these, look at this. Oh, by the way, the kit does come with motor mounts. And you see the white glue all over here. Those are being a little bit messy, but it does come with motor mounts. So and they do mount to those triangle pieces there. So we're all worked out perfectly. And somebody did comment and said this looks like it might be a 300, and he was right. It is 300. It's a Ford 300 with some Cobra race bits on it. So let's see here. And it makes total sense that this would fit in this truck because this truck did have a 300 in it as an option at one time, I believe, if my research is holding out. But looky there. Get this little bit of a twist there. There we go. It kind of throws me off because the belts are at such an angle there. So I just look to see if the valve cover is level. And there we go. There we go. There we go. Look at, oops, it slid back down a little bit. This will get cement super glued in place once we get everything painted and detailed. But there we go. I like that. I like that so much. We've done mock-ups for the drive shaft. We had to lengthen our drive shaft. We use a piece of aluminum tubing to do that. And there we go. It's kind of candy cane looking right now. That's how it was wrapped. But it does look like somebody throwing a flip-off sign, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, that's looking so good. And it's really rejuvenated my spirit for this build. I'm so excited about this. So I just wanted to do this quick video here. That's not so quick. To say thank you to all of you guys for the support, the ideas over Instagram, Facebook, personal messages, comments on YouTube. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. And dude, I'm really thinking that when we're done with this build, we're going to have to dedicate this to the YouTube community at large because you guys are awesome, and this is why I say the model car community is the best one out there. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and sign off. We'll talk to y'all a little bit later on. We got more to show you about what's going on, like this 3D printed grill here. We'll talk about that in a different video, and we'll get back to it. Y'all take it easy. Have a good 4th of July, a good New Year's. Hopefully it's nice and safe and sane. We all want to see you again in the new year, so make sure you be as safe as you can. All right, y'all, take it easy, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Bye now.